Well, it does have its gross-out chemicals, but they seem to be not perilous to human
What do you
health.
say? Thank goodness for chlorine.
Thank goodness for chlorine, which kills the bad guys. And there's been a few studies on exactly what goes in there, and it's urine. There seems to be a lot of urine in the pools.
Hang on, let's just back up.
By
Before we
lots, I
get
mean
to
a
what
tiny
may
amount.
be in there that shouldn't be in there.
Yeah.
So the chlorine essentially, is it meant to kill all foreign matter that's not meant to be in the pool, or just keep it at a level where things can't breed?
It would like to be able to kill all the bacteria, but the levels of chlorine would be really high, so it just keeps them down to a very low level. So when you're swimming in a pool and you turn your head and you open your mouth and some water comes in, maybe some bacteria coming in there.
Right.
Easily overwhelmed by the number of bacteria in your mouth and your immune system. So it keeps them down to a very low level.
Still, you shouldn't really be swallowing pool water or even keeping your eyes open for too long underwater.
I keep my eyes open in the ocean pool.
Well, the ocean pool, that's fine, but...
Well, there are toxic chemicals there. The universe is a dangerous place, and there are dangerous chemicals everywhere.
All right.
Okay.
Our greatest fear then, swimming in the pool, and there are a few kids in the pool too. You're thinking, hang on, what's going on? And there's not that magical dye that sort of alerts you to the fact that they may have peed in the pool.
Although half the people in America, on a survey put out by some pool association, which may or not be correct, may or may not be, they think that there is a magical chemical. Suddenly around your groinal area appears this big cloud saying, Andrew has done something naughty, look at Andrew, isn't he bad? Right? So about 20% of people admit to it, and Michael Phelps said, and I quote, "I think everybody pees in the pool," he said, exact quote, and continuing, "Chlorine kills it, so it's not bad," unquote.
This is the world's greatest Olympian talking about that. He's spent so much of his life in the pool. Inevitably, he's probably had to relieve himself a few times.
Sure, because you don't want to go out and then come back in again. It takes too much time. You spend going up and down the pool mindlessly like a chicken following a stick.
OK, so we know it's chlorinated. It's well chlorinated. Should we be worried then if people are peeing in the pool?
Not because of any diseases, but only for psychic things. You know, like it's not going to harm you. The studies, and there's not been that many of them, looked at firstly small pools and hot tubs in various parts of Canada, and then 2 years later, 2016 last year, then looked at a couple of swimming pools in bigger municipal areas, not backyard pools, you know, 1/6 of the size of an Olympic swimming pool, 1/3 of the size, and they basically found like 30 to 70 to 90 litres of urine, which sounds like a lot, yes, but when you compare it to the whole pool, it works out to about 1 part in 10,000, which is very low level.
Well, of course, a lot of people like a heated pool, and bacteria like warm, moist environments. So what are we talking about when we've got a heated pool or perhaps a spa? We're always told, don't put your head under the water in a spa.
Well, two reasons for that. One, they're much smaller and people do stuff in there. And so with regard to spas/hot tubs, the policy there is to dump the water totally every now and then. Whereas in smaller backyard pools and then commercial pools, they very, very rarely dump the pool. They merely top up what is lost through evaporation. So you get a build-up of the urine, but then it gets... Well, what is urine? It's overwhelmingly water. And then there's the yellow colour, which comes from the breakdown products of the red blood cells. And then there's inorganic salts, you know, sodium, potassium, who cares, it's chlorine, no big deal. And then a bit of urea and ammonia and catecholamines and allantoin. And urine is sterile, overwhelmingly. You ain't getting no bacteria. You're putting food in there, like those chemicals I mentioned, the bacteria might want to come and land on and say, hey, here's some catecholamines and allantoins, I'll eat them and live in this nice thing called a swimming pool because the chlorine level happens to be low. So it's not too nasty environment in terms of bacteria. There's no bacteria coming from the urine. It's more of a gross out type feeling that you're getting.
Keep your mouth shut, or you shouldn't be too worried when you're diving in the pool?
Worried. Well, there's another thing that the study's a bit kind of dodgy. You can't actually measure urine in a pool because urine immediately turns into its constituent chemicals that it's made of and just dissolves, which are the same as the chemicals, apart from the yellow ones, from your sweat.
And Carl, dare I say, God forbid there's a floater in the pool. You know, someone's done number 2.
Oh, that's bad.
Just evacuate. Get out.
In that case, evacuate because you've got lots of bacteria. But there is a series of pools in the United States that have a sign on the outside which say, "Welcome to our OOL, OOL, full stop." Notice there's no P in it. Please keep it that way.
Very good. Dr. Carl, thanks very much.
Thank you, Dr. Andrew.